The bombshell came from Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti, telling Morning Joe Daniels was physically threatened to stay silent about her alleged 2006 affair with then-citizen Donald Trump.
Was she threatened in any way?
Yes.
Was she threatened physical harm?
Yes.
What do you mean by that? Was her life threatened?
I'm not going to answer that.
Avenatti making the media rounds, refusing to say today whether the threats came before or after Daniels signed a non-disclosure agreement, accepting $130,000 right before Election Day, not to talk about her alleged relationship with Mr. Trump. Daniels is now suing, saying the deal isn't valid because she says the president never signed the paperwork. Michael Cohen, President Trump's outside attorney, who says he paid Daniels out of his own pocket as a part of that agreement, didn't respond to requests for comment today, adding to the growing controversy.
We have been approached by 6 separate women who claim to have similar stories to those or to that of my client.
The White House has denied any relationship between the president and the porn star and is now on defense yet again.
Obviously, we take the safety and security of any person seriously. Certainly would condemn anyone threatening any individual, but I have no knowledge of that situation.
So what's the president saying? Not much. For a self-proclaimed counterpuncher who has rarely backed away from a fight, he's been uncharacteristically silent. Legal analysts say, if true, any threat could pose serious legal challenges.
Threatening someone to enter into a contract is a form of extortion. But even without the contract, threatening somebody with physical violence in general is usually a crime all by itself.
This week, NBC News confirmed that a top lawyer for the Trump Organization was involved in trying to enforce that secrecy agreement that Daniels signed. Still, the White House maintains Mr. Trump wasn't aware of the payment.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.